Hello everyone, my name is Malik and I am back with another video. In this presentation, we are gonna talking about how to get free SSL certificates from trusted CA providers and how to use them in easiest way to secure the web interface of our applications like Prometheus, Grafana, GitLab server, and so on. There are some ways to get free SSL certificates. Here, I'm gonna use Acme, Automated Certificate Management Environment, with and without Nginx reverse proxy. Let's start. Let's going directly to terminal and explain everything in action. Here I have an Ubuntu instance up and running on AWS. Let's update it and also install Docker to host some application. Switch to root with sudo-i and here just type apt-get update. Quickly type apt-get install docker.io-y. So far so good. We updated our server and installed Docker. I did install Docker on this machine. So what's the plan we are gonna do? I want to bring up a Grafana and Prometheus containers on this machine. Then through browser, type the IP address of the host with the port 3000 access to Grafana. Then if I type the IP address with this port 9090 access to Prometheus server, as you see, the protocol here is HTTP, that not secure. So in continue, our plan is to change HTTP to HTTPS using SSL certificates. Let's bring up these two services and in continue we will see how we can get free SSL certificate and use them to have a secure access to our services. Let's bring up two services on Docker, one Prometheus server and one Grafana. With this command, bring up a Prometheus server on Docker container, and also let's bring up a Grafana server, Docker PS. Here you see both containers are up and running. Let's check them on browser, but before that I have to open this port 3000 and 9090 on AWS security group. Here is AWS console. This is the machine that I'm using. Going to security group, from security group edit inbound rules and add a rule, port 9090 from this one and another one, port 3000 for Grafana, this block, and save rules. Back here from instances, take the IP, open a tab, port 3000, you see this is Grafana 9090 and this is Prometheus. As you see here, not secure. For Grafana, not secure. They are using HTTP protocol. So With using SSL certificate, we can change HTTP to HTTPS. Let's go and see how we can get free SSL certificate and secure these web interfaces for our services. Before continue, let's check something here. Here is the server that I'm using. This time I'm trying to access Grafana and Prometheus from inside server by CLI command. So for access Grafana or Prometheus, I can use localhost address and proper port. I can access Grafana or Prometheus. So inside the machine, it is okay to use HTTP protocol. So by installing Nginx inside the server as reverse proxy, I can access the backend through localhost and port, and from the outside can use HTTPS on port 443. Also for Prometheus, I can use like this one from outside. As you see here, we need a domain. So having a domain is mandatory. In continue, we have to follow these 6 steps to finish our job. To get SSL certificate and configure Nginx reverse proxy to secure the web interface of our services. Let's start with install Nginx on the host. Here, just type apt get install Nginx. Yes, done. Clear the screen, back to presentation, and change it to done. The next step is search for Acme on GitHub. Let's go into browser, open a new tab on Google, search for Acme GitHub. From the results, click on the first one. As you see, Acme SH official. And here you see this project here. Just from the code, and copy this link to clone it on the server. Let's back to server, just git clone and this address. So this repository cloned or on computer. ls, you see it here, cd acme.sh. Here you are. So the second step also done. Let's go into third step, install socket package. Back to terminal, apt get install socket-y. It's done. Let's back to presentation. The third one also done. Now it's the time to generate SSL certificate. How we can do it? Let's back to browser. Here on the GitHub repository, if we going down, just issue a certificate. Here there are some examples. I copy this one, back to terminal. With this command, we can generate SSL certificate, but we need a domain. There are some websites you can get free domain also from them. One of these websites is DocDNS. You can log into this website by your, for example, GitHub account and use free domain from this website. Okay, let's log in by my account. You see here, you can select every name you want with this domain, docdns.org. Here, just for training, I'm using this docdns. As you see here, I already registered these domains with my host IP, my Grafa and my Prometheus. Let's use them to get SSL certificate. Let's back to terminal. Here is the command, and let's change this one to our domain. At the end of this command, I add this flag -m my email. Why I use email? Because before it's going to be expire, it will send a notification to my email. Here I have to mention this free SSL only valid for 90 days, 3 months. After that, you have to renew them. You can add this command in your cron job, and some days before it's going to be expired, automatically renew that. So no need to do it manually. For example, you configure your cron job for 85 days, and after 85 days, automatically will renew that. Before run this command, I need to show you something. Here there is an article on internet, just I search it. In this article, you see 10 of the best free and low-cost SSL certificate authorities. The famous one is Let's Encrypt SSL. The other one is SSL for free, or called ZEROSSL. Also, it mentioned here, it is free for 90 days, and after that you can renew without any charge. Also, there are other famous names here. You can pay, and for get certificate you have to pay. But if I run this command here, it will go and get certificate from Let's Encrypt SSL website. If I add this flag --server, I can define the name of the other provider. For example, ZEROSSL. Instead of going to Let's Encrypt, will go to ZEROSSL. You can use Let's Encrypt or ZEROSSL, but I prefer ZEROSSL because maybe you want to remove SSL and for practice run this command several times. On Let's Encrypt SSL you have limitation for that, but for ZEROSSL there is no limitation. So let's using ZEROSSL. Let's enter command not found. Why? Because this is an script, and in the first of command we have to add this one, /. It takes some seconds to get certificate. You see success, verify finish, and start to sign. Okay, you see certificate created, and let's do it the same for other domain, my Prometheus, and enter. Now certificates are ready to use in Nginx reverse proxy configuration. At the moment we are going to configure Nginx reverse proxy. On terminal, cd etc nginx ls. The configuration are located in sites-available. So we switch to this folder. Only there is default configuration here. So let's create a file for Prometheus and another file for Grafana. I'm creating a file like this. You can select every name you want because the configuration is important, not the name. But for user-friendly, I select this name. With simple search on internet and going to Nginx documentation, you will see like this one. So here is the Nginx documentation, setting up an HTTPS server. Just copy this configuration and going to terminal and paste them here. Okay, it listens to which port? 443 for SSL. What is the server name? Just change it to our server name. my prometheus.docdns.org and SSL certificate and key. I will paste them. Just let's save it and going a little up for my Prometheus. Here the path. So one of them is key and another one is for certificate. For certificate is this one, full chain. Let's copy this one back here. And for key, okay, the first part of configuration is done. Here we tell Nginx listen to 443 port, and this is the domain name. When we type in browser, we can reach to Nginx server. Also, these two lines introduce our SSL certificate. When you want to verify SSL, the certificates are here. Okay, when we type my prometheus.docdns.org on browser, it should redirect to where the packet arrived to the server, and now Nginx have to decide where to send it. It should send it to Prometheus server. So we have to define in configuration when packet arrive from here, redirect to Prometheus. Let's see how we can do it. Just type Nginx reverse proxy in Google, and from the result click on Nginx documentation, and you see passing a request to proxy server. You see something like that. Location with this argument proxy pass to the backend location. Let's copy this one back to configuration. Just enter and paste it here. So we don't need any subdomain, just location. When you type this domain, proxy path to where 127.0.0.1 port 9090 HTTP localhost 9090. It's done. Just copy this one, save it, and let's create another file for grafana.docdns.org here and paste it here, and just change server name, my Grafa, and also this one. And for the backend, going to which port? Port 3000. Let's check it here. For Grafana, it's going to port 3000. Let's save it. So the configuration are ready. One step is remaining. If I back one step and going to site enables ls-latr, you see there is a link to the default file in site available. So let's ls. You see here in this folder we have two new files. So we have to add a soft link for each of them here. How? Like this one. Just change this name, enter, and another one for my Prometheus. So ls-latr here, you see two new soft link added here. Now if I type nginx-t, it will go and check the configuration in these two files that we have added in this path. You see there is a problem in my Grafa. So let's back to my Grafa and see what is the issue here. Yes, you see here we didn't change this one to my Grafa. Let's copy this one. ls, you see all the file here start with my Grafa. Again, run nginx-t, and you see all the syntax is okay and test is successful. Let's clean the screen. Here we have to reload Nginx configuration. Just type systemctl reload nginx. It's done. It's done. Let's back to browser and see what it happened. Just type with HTTPS. Here you are. You see? Now it's secure with this domain. If I open a new tab and type HTTPS, my Prometheus, here you are. Also, this application is secure. One of the reasons that I selected Nginx reverse proxy, the configuration for it is simple. Also, there is a lot of other popular reverse proxy applications such as Caddy, Traffic, Swag, and so on. However, Nginx reverse proxy is more simple to configuration. Sometimes you don't want to use reverse proxy and you want to use the server only, for example, for Grafana, and use another server for Prometheus as a standalone. In this situation, just to get certificate for a standalone machine. How? This is the command that we already used. Just for using the standalone, we have to remove this flag. Instead, just type --stand alone. By running this command, it will go and get certificate for this machine. If I enter this command, I'm sure it's not working because at the moment Nginx is running on this machine and port 80 is occupied by that. So for using this one, we have to stop Nginx. It will go and automatically bring up a small web server and will get certificate and then automatically remove that mini web server. Then you can go and find the location of SSL certificate, for example, for Grafana or Prometheus, and make a soft link to this created certificate. And also don't forget to add this command with add this switch at the end --renew to your cron job, and automatically before expiration it will renew these certificates. And finally, don't forget to block application ports from the internet because you don't need anymore to directly have access to application in the backend. I hope you like this tutorial. If you like it, please don't forget to leave your comment in below section. See you in next video.